Taking a full look at weather, meteorologist Lisa Montgomery. It is calming to hear those sounds. I mean, you heard time and time again, we are energy.
Yes, and it's even better when you're there in the room as it's happening with those singing bowls, they call it. And it's called a sound bath. So I did ask, what do the clients say for the first time they're in the sound bath? They say they've never slept better that night. So it helps with your sleep. It improves your blood pressure. It lowers your blood pressure. It helps with chronic pain. So there's a lot of benefits to it. You can even just Google it, and there's all kinds of information there. So we're really lucky to have it in the area too, to be able to attend some of these classes. So
yeah, and you said they have one available free of cost, right?
Yes. And they're very good too. They're really good at what they do. They've been doing it for 10 to 15 years. So it's certainly something to look into. It's all beneficial. So hopefully the weather will start to cooperate too, and it will be more beneficial for us. After all, it is summer, and it's just not quite feeling like it just yet. Temperatures are still on the cool side, below average, and we're looking at some calm conditions now from Dominico's on the Wharf. This is a live look at Monterey Bay. However, we do have some breezy conditions out there, and we do expect to have those northwest winds again tomorrow, gusting up into the 20s for much of the area. So it will be a breezy day, and we should see some sunshine again for those interior locations. Looks like the clouds are going to be sticking around the coast once again. So more of the same. We're going to see a shift in this weather pattern as we get into late next week. But until then, our temperatures are going to stay below average. In fact, you can see along the coast where we should be. We should be in the upper 60s. We've been in the 50s and the low 60s for the last several days. And the same with inland. Most areas only got into the 70s today when we should be in the low 80s across much of the area. So hopefully by the time we get into next week, we're going to be talking about the 90s. We may even have a heat wave on the way. So it will feel more like summer as we get into next weekend, something to look forward to. Temperatures right now, you can see how cool we are. In fact, we're showing 59 around the bay, Monterey Bay, 59, 56 for the Bixby Bridge, and we've got the 50s all along the southern coast here in southern Monterey County, and then the 60s and 70s everywhere else. Just a couple warm spots in the low 80s for Bradley and Parkfield, but everybody else staying pretty cool out there, and we'll be cooling off again for tonight. I don't think it's going to be quite as cool as it was this morning. Some areas were in the upper 30s and the 40s. I think most of us will stay in the 50s, and even along the bay here, we're looking at those lows staying in the mid to the upper 50s. So not too bad there, but those clouds will be rolling back in, and the satellite view is showing all the clear skies, sunshine for the interior valleys there, but it is a little breezy. But those clouds, those stratus clouds, working its way back in already into Salinas, down to the Big Sur coast, and they'll be spilling in again for overnight tonight and as we get into tomorrow morning as well. Current wind gusts, you can see we've got 32 mile-per-hour wind gusts for Soledad, so in the valley there where it's typically breezy, we do have those gusts, and we're going to be seeing this again for tomorrow with the northwest winds. Everybody will be feeling some breezy conditions tomorrow with those gusts up into the 20s. So Futurecast is showing you that we do have those clouds rolling back in, especially for tomorrow morning. We did have some drizzle around the area this morning. Tomorrow, maybe some patchy drizzle in some of those areas, especially along the peninsula there. But you can see for tomorrow morning, we've got mostly cloudy skies around the bay, the peninsula, stretching down into the valleys, and then we'll begin to see some clearing, some breaks in those clouds for the afternoon along the coast, but more sunshine inland with those clear skies. And then again for tomorrow night into Sunday morning, just expect more of the same. We'll have those low clouds rolling back in, and we should see more sunshine as we head inland. So no real change until next weekend as high pressure builds in, and that's going to help to warm us up, and hopefully more sunshine too along the coast. Here's a look at your forecast then for tonight. We will have a couple areas dropping down into the upper 40s. Other than that, everybody in the 50s, and then we're looking at the 60s and 70s for tomorrow once again. And as we head into the Salinas area, we're looking at 64, Prunedale 64, Morgan Hill, Gilroy in the 70s, Hollister only 70 degrees, Marina around 62. Same for the peninsula. We're going to be in the 50s overnight and the low 60s for tomorrow with those clouds. Hopefully we'll get some breaks in the clouds for the sunshine for tomorrow afternoon. little bit warmer as we head into the interior valleys. The area here, we're looking at 77 for King City, at least. Pinnacles, you'll get up into the upper 70s, and then the low 80s for the San Antonio Valley. Bradley up to 84 tomorrow, Parkfield 82. So just a bit warmer, but you can see Big Sur staying at 58. Even Carmel Valley, this is below average, only in the low 60s. And again, Soledad around 72 for your Saturday afternoon. So expect those clouds to be sticking around the coast, and those cooler temperatures with some windy conditions continuing. And even as we get into those inland areas, a little bit warmer tomorrow in some spots, but it will still be below average with some breezy conditions, and we should see a good deal of sunshine. And then late next week, at least you can see by Friday, some areas should be back to normal. And again, we could even see a nice warm up back up into the 90s in some of those spots. So we do have some summertime weather. It's on the way. Just hang in there. We'll be right back after this break.